And hello YouTube and welcome back to another episode of The Zone TV Movie Entertainment. Alright, so now I'm continuing my tradition, continuing with the next X-Men movie in the franchise, better known as X-Men 2, X-Men United. Now, this one is actually a personal favorite of mine because this is actually my favorite X-Men movie. This is also directed by Bryan Singer. And this one's a little bit more different because of there's a lot more characters in here. Now, normally they wouldn't have put a lot of characters in certain movies. Does it work? Does it not? We'll have to wait and find out. This is my favorite movie. This is actually my favorite action movie to date because the way it's darker and the way that Bryan Singer tells the story of how he continues the story from what happened in the last movie. And before I go on, like I said, spoilers are going to be in this movie review, so you've been warned. Basically, this movie starts off with Nightcrawler, a new character who's basically a teleporter, and he sneaks into the White House and he pretends to be part of the tour, the tour guide, and then he goes off and he beats up all the guards there and he wants to go after the president. Now, the government finds this out, that a mutant went after the president of the United States of America, and they decided they want to go after basically any mutant who poses a threat, to the world, to the nation. And then you have Professor X and his team now trying to figure out how to get this mutant to safety, try to figure out who he is, talk to him. And the government now has to go to this person named William Stryker. Now, he has a backstory where we'll get into it eventually, but like I said, he does have a backstory, and I'll tell you about it. He's basically the guy who created Wolverine, who gave him his metal claws, because he worked with the government in the past to basically deal with the mutant issue, if you want to put it that way. So now they send him and they tell him, listen, he knows about the whole school, and he gets permissions from the president, like, let me go in there, let me get these mutants, let's talk to them, let's see what they know. Do they pose a threat and whatever. But, he has his own agenda. He's just playing coy with the president because, the president's the one who's like, alright, do that, but I don't want no, mutant kids dead or something. Like, yeah, don't worry about it. Then you have Wolverine return from his journey because he was away after the end of the first one. He disappears because he wants to figure out who he is. He has no memory of what's happened to his life before he met up with the X-Men. So now he's back. And then you have this whole situation where William Stryker brings in the strike team and he basically invades the X-Mansion and try to take the mutants. And he also has his own agenda. He wants to basically get Cerebro. Cerebro is the machine that Xavier is allowed to look and contact with other mutants all over the world, as long as he connects to it. And like I said, this movie is darker, a lot of fun, great action, story's well told, and yeah, all the characters that are in this movie, you have Storm, Cyclops, Jean Grey, William Stryker, the whole Wolverine story background. You have all of that in this movie, Nightcrawler. And it fits well because each character gets its own thing, and there's also a little backstory with, William Stryker and that whole thing with him and Wolverine. So that's basically another story of itself. They could have been its own movie, but they put it in here, and it worked. And of course you have Magneto returning as well with Mystique, and then he has his own agendas, and that leads into his own story. But it's basically, put it this way, it's like 3 stories in one, and they made it work like it's one whole big thing. And I love this movie. Like I said, action was great. It still holds up to this day. If you watch it now, it still holds up. And like I said, I love this movie. This movie to me has no flaws at all. I can watch this movie every day if I wanted to, because obviously I own it. And yeah, I highly recommend watching this movie. The acting, Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen are even better than they were before, and even Wolverine himself was even better. And yeah, it works. So if I had to grade this one, this will be the only one I'll give. I have a lot of movies that get this kind of grade, But this movie definitely is part of it. I'll give it an 11 because I love this movie so much. This is my favorite X-Men movie, and it's, to this day it still is. So yeah. So like I said, that's my review for what I think about this movie. So let me know what you think. Did you ever see this movie? Have you ever seen it? And do you want to see it? That's the question. Let me know what you think. So there you go. There's my review for X-Men 2, X-Men United, and also just letting you know it does have a little ending where it does lead off to the next movie, which is X-Men 3, The Last Stand. So stay tuned for that review because that one's next. And yeah, so there you go. And stay tuned for the next one. Thank you and have a good day.